Chinese are raised concern always to India. And in present time now, it is not border issue, but they are creating a world largest dam in the river of Brahmaputra. And it's the biggest threat for India, biggest concern for India. Why? Chinese, they are establishing a dam that is your country, that is your river, that is their river. But why India concern? That's the question. Because there have international norms that if you establish any dam or create any activities on the any river, if the same river is going to another country, you must have to discussion with this country, or there have a common agreement. But in this time, Chinese, they are establishing a world largest dam in Brahmaputra River, but they never inform to India, never discussion to India or Bangladesh, because Brahmaputra River, its flow going on India and after that Bangladesh. First Brahmaputra River is created in the Tibet. After that it flow to the Chinese land. Then it put in to India in Arunachal Pradesh. After that Assam. Then it enter to Bangladesh and then Bay of Bengal. It's the line flow of Brahmaputra River. But according to international laws, Chinese must have to inform and discussion with India, but they never do that. And some days ago, according to our Chinese media, they reveal this news, and India, after that, India know, and immediately India connect to Chinese by diplomatic channel, and there have a discussion with Ajit Doval and Chinese counterpart. And Chinese, they are ensure that this dam not to be affected to India's flow, not to be affected to downstream countries flow. They are ensure. What? What? The question is, Chinese insecurity is very, very vulnerable for any country. And how many days it's going flow normally? That's the main question. And from the India's side, the India's External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Randhir Jaiswal, he said that we must have every time surveillance, and we uh, always measure the water level, water flow all the time, because we should have to our demography, must have to be normalized, because in Brahmaputra River, India's the largest flow coming by the Brahmaputra River, and Ganges River its second flow. So, if their water level, if there is adequate, therefore have problem. If it was surplus, then have another problem. So both have abnormalized. There have to another problem. If it hamper by the Chinese. So India's External Affairs Ministry, they are ensure. But there have the another question raised that in Brahmaputra River there have another dam created by the Chinese. But in this time, why Chinese, they are created world largest dam in Brahmaputra River? There have another question. It is things that they created this dam to hampering Indian demography, to hampering Indian territory, because they are not that much involved, that much infiltrate to Indian land security, land territory. In this context, they want to hamper Indian demography by the Brahmaputra River, because if they create a dam, they are control to water flow. Sometimes they passing through much water, it can be flooded to Indian side. Sometimes they create when necessary to the water, sometimes they can stuck the water. for India not get the adequate water. So they can hamper, always do hamper the Indian side, the downstream flow. It's the main focus of Chinese. In this context, they are establishing the world largest dam. That's $137 billion they are going to invest here. So from Indian side, it created a major protest to this against this dam. And it they take a unilateral decision, but that's not fair. Always in this case there have to bilateral or trilateral decision, because upstream and downstream country, they have agreement, they have a consensus, but they never uh, take this thing and never to inform to Indian side or Bangladesh side. It's the greatest concern. So Chinese always concern or threat for India.